everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and I've got Adam here, and Brandon is here.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm finally going to do something I've wanted to do for years and years and have never gotten around to, thanks to my buddy Adam, who recently bequeathed me a LaserDisc player, and Adam wanted to come over and show me the workings of the LaserDisc player because I've never used one before, and he recently brought me a LaserDisc, so I finally own one of these. This has actually been in my house a few months now, and I haven't used it yet because I didn't have any LaserDiscs.
And I've been threatening to bring over a couple.
Yeah, and thank you for this because this is one of my favorite movies.
Yes. Hopefully it works, because it's been sitting in my house unused for a while. So I'm hoping that I think I tested it out.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's going to be a really short video.
Yeah, it's going to be a really short video. I
mean, we can still talk about the technology.
Correct.
Fill you in.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to use this opportunity to show off my new Batman-themed CRT TV that I bought recently. And I was going to do a separate video on that, but we might as well cover that here too, since I thought it would be amusing to hook up the LaserDisc player to a tiny 13-inch CRT. So that's what we're going to do. But everybody has LaserDiscs, and what other ones did you bring over?
So I brought over this Singing in the Rain because it is one of the few, we'll talk about it late in a second, but standard play discs that I own. I don't own very many of those. And then I brought over Jurassic Park.
Oh, very nice.
Favorite LaserDisc because it has the original poster art on it.
Oh.
Yeah,
some of the DVDs don't do.
And it folds out, and it's real pretty, and these are, of course,
nice.
real collectible like records, which is one of the reasons I've wanted to get into them for a long time. And what did you bring over, Brandon?
So I honestly, as I said to you earlier, I thought about bringing over some Star Trek, because especially since Adam had gotten me Star Trek a couple of Christmases ago, but I didn't end up
You had a whole stack of Star Trek, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a few of they threw in some extra ones. The eBay
I need to get them back out. They're sitting in my bedroom between my door and my dresser.
It was some episodes of the original series and a couple of the movies, right? The TV
yes.
So anyway, what did you bring
today?
So
I brought over. So I went out and bought some to add to my collection just for this occasion. So this one was kind of I don't know anything about it. A shot in the dark. I went and bought Demon Seed. Which looked, interestingly enough...
That sounds like a B movie.
From a computer's mind and a woman's body, a new generation of screen terror is born. So, we'll find out about that.
What movie is that, Brandon?
Then I bought Independence Day. This is a widescreen, yes, I've been looking for, and Half Price Books has a ton of widescreen come in all the time. And this one looks, really good inside.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to eventually play this one.
And of course, the kinds of movies back in the day that if you had like a big screen, plasma, you'd want a LaserDisc player for, as opposed to VHS, because the quality's higher. And we'll talk about that.
And the bigger your screen, the better white letterbox got and widescreen, because it wasn't, now you weren't taking up so much bar space of your, like nowadays our TVs are just kind of shaped that way, right?
Right.
But you were taking up so much bar space, my goodness. And then I got another one called, it's Kurt Russell in Breakdown. I've never seen this movie. So I don't know, it looked interesting enough.
But
he's running with a woman.
It could happen to you.
Yes.
Yeah, a cross-country trip, an unexpected breakdown. The trap has been set. A tense, beautifully crafted, edge-of-your-seat thriller.
Breakdown.
And then I bought a classic movie that I've never seen but always wanted to, and why not watch it on a contemporary medium?
Why not?
It was released on widescreen edition of Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, sure. I've seen that.
An early Alec Baldwin movie.
Yep. That's great.
And I've never seen it. Of course, I know the classic SNL sketch that he does that's based on that, and it's awesome, so I've always wanted to see the source.
It's a consummate 1970s thriller,
So those are the four that I brought.
Okay, awesome. Well, I didn't bring any because I live here and I didn't have a Laserdisc player until recently. But Adam is going to show us how the thing works, and we're going to get out the massive tray. And Adam, where are you going?
Oh, I have to walk in front. I don't know why I did that.
Were you expecting the camera to magically start following you?
We had that.
Okay, so here's how videos work. I'm going to finish this introduction, and then the video's on, and then the video will cut.
Too excited.
You guys are damn rusty.
Well, we're usually sitting down.
It's
true. You added an extra variable in here.
Is that making you nervous? Are you anxious because of standing?
I haven't been in front of the video camera in quite a while. It's all been...
The last time we did standing videos when we did what? The, what was it? When we went through the tub of stuff at your old house.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while.
The barrel of McDonald's toys? Yeah. Okay. Can I finish now?
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty soon the video will cut to a different angle, which will be a camera following Adam and I as he shows us the glories of the Laserdisc player that hopefully still works.
Yeah.
So real quick before we get to the Laserdisc player, here is my 13-inch Batman CRT TV. This came out in the mid-2000s, I think circa 05, 06 or so, and a little bit late, really, in the CRT game. And I had the DVD player that they put out to go with it that lights up in the front, and it also has a really cool-looking remote. This one has so that one, the remote is vertical like a normal person remote. It's still shaped like a bat symbol, but it's elongated. This one is much more like a controller shape, like it's trying to look like a Batarang. Although it's weird because it's not like any Batarang you've ever seen, right? Like, it's not, there's not any jagged edges or anything. I mean, I guess you wouldn't
be able to kill anyone with it.
It looks a lot more like a bat symbol that would just go on your chest, right? But it's...
Or even a belt buckle.
Yeah, sure. But the layout is super cool because it's got, Adam, all the numbers on the sides.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
So, like, when I first looked at it, I was like, how do you get numbers in there? And it indeed does have the numbers. Volumes on the right, channels on the left. It's really well designed and feels super comfortable in your hand. Like, I almost wish it was a game controller.
Yeah.
Like, feel that. Maybe take the divots out of the back, and it feels really nice as a game controller. It's real big. It's real fat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that. Here is the TV itself. It has most of the functionality on the front, also in a bat symbol, which is super cool looking. And so you've got your volume to the right here, your channel up and down. Sorry, you got your volume left here, volume right here. I actually haven't looked at this super close. Your power button is here. And then you've got a menu button down here and AVTV here, so you can live without the remote pretty easily. And I probably, if the deal was good, would have bought this without this and then cried, because this is one of the coolest things about it, of course. But you've got your composite in the front, and then you've got a second composite in the back, which is pretty standard for a lot of TVs of this size. I think that you'd have one in the front, one in the back, and then there is a composite out also in the back, which I don't know why you'd ever want for a TV.
Yeah,
I've never really understood that. But it has that.
Maybe to record.
Yes, but you would
on
still
a VCR.
Maybe,
but you would
just
still
do that
daisy
through the
chain.
VCR.
Yeah, the VCR had a tuner in it, so you would have just gone and daisy chained in. With
It's been so long since I've actually used my VCR to watch channels.
Yeah. So anyway, so right now I've got a GameCube hooked up to it, and I have a VCR hooked up to it. That's all over here, Brandon. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn this on, and it's got a little crack in the front, which is kind of unfortunate, but I was playing games on it the other day, and it's not too horribly distracting, so it's worth having. And it's just super cool with my bunker setup that I now have a monitor that looks like it belongs in a bat cave, in essentially a bat cave, and with the rest of my setup over here. So I'm super excited about it. People keep saying, because I've posted about it on the channel a couple times, and people keep saying that it looks like a Schumacher Batman TV.
Yeah,
like
that's what I thought. I thought it was like a tie-in for Batman Forever or Batman Robin.
That's why people can't believe
I couldn't believe it came out as Laserdisc.
Yeah, and I think it came out not as a tie-in to Batman Begins, but I think because of that, like Batman, there was a lot more Batman merchandise
stuff.
right then.
Yeah,
yeah.
Batman was in the zeitgeist.
So they went back to 1995 with this.
Right.
And yeah, it's crazy. But
That's
anyway,
crazy.
So why don't you go ahead and talk about Laserdisc?
Sure.
And we'll see if the thing works and try to put something on the Batman
Here, we'll
TV.
get a good look at the Laserdisc player here.
I wish we had.
We haven't seen it yet.
I wish we had 89 on Laserdisc here,
Yeah.
and we could throw that in.
So, little history of Laserdisc. It came out originally, it's older than a lot of people think. It came out in 1978. It was, I think it was originally a, what was it? Philips and MCA. They were the ones that
sounds right.
did the development of that. So it was 2 years after VHS and 3 years after Betamax. And when it first came out, it was marketed as DiscoVision because it was the 70s. And then later, I think Pioneer bought a controlling stake in it, and they called it LaserVision. They also called it LaserDisc. It was a weird thing. They called like the format LaserDisc, but the brand name or format LaserVision, but the brand name LaserDisc. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
It was a weird way of marketing it, and it kind of went through multiple iterations. But
we can all
I
agree
think
that
you can
either of those is better than anything with
DiscoVision.
disco
Yeah.
in the
You
title.
can see that little mark on the back of some Laserdiscs.
LaserVision.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so LaserDisc is weird because a lot of people think it's like a DVD where it's digitally encoded, but it's not. Well, it is and it isn't. The video is encoded, and you can, I don't know if it'll show up on the screen, is encoded with like grooves, like a record, and read by a laser though. And they are amplitude modulated video signals. No, sorry, frequency modulated video signals. Like
So
VHS,
FM video.
just like VHS and Beta, and but the audio was is recorded in digital PCM or whatever it is, and that was later then developed into the CD.
That's the craziest thing
Yeah.
to me is that the format is technically analog and digital simultaneously.
Hybrid. Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah.
And of course now being, a million years after CD and into, almost entirely digital technology these days, it's weird thinking back to this because it feels like the most roundabout, convoluted possible way to do this technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
It only second to the CED.
What's that?
That was the vinyl
Yeah, the
video.
vinyl. There was another format that was called CED that RCA came out with. They called it Selectavision, which was also the name of their VCR, which is confusing probably to people.
Oh, weird.
Back
I
in
don't
the
have
day.
any of that format, and I want it so bad.
CED was like
They were
half
cartridges.
between
I never knew what
VHS.
those were called.
Yeah, and it was like it wasn't a record where it would read the groove. It used this. It would the needle wouldn't actually touch the disc. It would read.
It
capacitance.
scans.
Yeah, it would scan it.
It scan it, and that's also why when you pause those, you get a blip in the image because it's reading one line and it's just sticking with that line
One
instead
line
of
is one frame of video or whatever.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, and it's not skipping to the next line.
Right,
so.
right. Interesting.
Isn't it weird all the traditionally audio formats that we tried to do every other thing under the sun with?
Yeah.
Like video games on cassette tape and
Yeah.
things like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you could record computer programs on
programs,
cassette
yeah.
tapes back in the day. You'd have a cassette deck and you'd plug in the microphone in to the PC out and vice versa, and it would read and write to cassette tapes.
There was a British
crazy.
computer show, I don't know if it was on the BBC or ITV in the 80s, where they would actually, at the end of the episode, would let you, if you had a cassette player hooked up to your TV, you could record. They would transmit the sound of the computer game. You would record the digital, whatever, what it would sound like or whatever, I guess, translated into electrical impulses for the cassette tape. And you could record a computer game. I don't know how well it worked with like interference and things like that, but
You want to tell you quick something about interference? We had an old CRT TV at my great grandpa's house. It was near some power lines outside, and if you tuned it in a high band to the VHF, it had a mic. It had a controller that you could turn very selectively, like a smooth motion, and you could pick up cell phone conversations.
that seems illegal. I feel like the FCC might be interested in that.
Well, Adam,
Certainly.
show us this particular player.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So this was kind of a base model from Pioneer from the 90s. I don't know what year. I think probably in like 94 maybe. Right, it says on the back. Yeah, 94. And
so relatively late.
Yeah, relatively late.
You're going to see DVD players start to come out by 98, 99.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, but they kept up Laserdisc format through the end of the 90s.
The 99 was the end of Laserdisc, basically. I think Phantom Menace might have been one of the last things.
I think you're right about that, actually.
Yeah, but
and VHS goes all the way to 05.
Okay, if I'm going to own Phantom Menace, it might as well be on Laserdisc, right?
The reason why I think but it was way bigger in Japan than it was ever in the United States, too. I mean, it was a niche thing here. But it was non-existent in Europe.
Considering how many times you have to flip the disc over, Brandon, that's a movie that I want to take that many breaks watching.
Right. So. And this is because it's a
lot of
player,
technology.
yeah, you do have to flip the disc. I have a more high-end one, and it actually will auto-flip. It doesn't. What it does is, and I don't know why they didn't just put another laser on the top.
It flips the head, doesn't it?
The head thing goes all the way around the carousel up to the top of the player and stuff, and then it starts spinning.
Because it was probably cheaper than putting another laser.
It takes a full minute at least for the
movie to go
cycle through its whole.
You might as well be at a 1970s double feature.
Okay, but I got to come over and see that at some point because that sounds amazing. So this one you have to manually take it out and
you have to manually take it out.
And just for folks that aren't familiar with this and in the know, why did you have to flip the disc?
Because so you have two formats of here I'll show, I guess. This one. Well, we can use this one.
Different ones, yeah.
So they had two formats of Laserdisc. What they called CAV or standard play. This is they're not very common. This is what they call CAV stands for constant angular velocity. You might want to edit this out because it might be boring to people. But constant.
I'm enthused.
I'm fascinated.
Constant angular velocity means that the disc is spun at the same rate, like a record, the same rate the whole time. So it'll be read at the same. It rotates at the same speed, but that means if the track is in the center of the disc, it will go around faster than it will on the outside. But it only lasts about 30 minutes, and each little line, I don't even know if it will show up on here. I think, I might be saying this wrong, but you might be able to see the notches in there in the light. See how there's like notches? Each one of those is a track, or a frame. I think so. Each frame,
nice.
But these only last 30 minutes. So if you have a 2-hour movie, you're gonna have to be flipping this 4 times.
Or is it 2 discs?
2 discs. Yeah. And
so Titanic.
So you put it in.
Been 8.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Because
Yeah.
that's the one that came on 2 cassette
That was
tapes.
a
cassette tape. Yeah.
So am I right in saying then that those would have about the same runtime as an LP?
Yeah, because an LP is about 30 minutes each time.
Maybe 40, 45 minutes?
Yeah, each side, yeah. Yeah, that's about what it would be. Yeah, and they're not common. The Criterion Collection people, they started out on Laserdisc.
Yes.
And I think I have like 1 or 2 of their discs. I think most of their releases were in the standard play format. Because one of the advantages you could do, it could do freeze frame. You can isolate. You can just look up a frame. Like each frame has its own number. You can just key in, and it will go to that frame on the video.
Because it's in a standard location on the disc.
You couldn't do that with the extended play discs.
Which sounds quaint and pointless now, but back then, if you're teaching a class or something, that was invaluable.
Really
Not a thing you could do as easily on VHS, where you'd have remotes that would let you go kind of frame by frame, but it was clunky because you'd have to rewind or fast forward to that scene.
Point.
How many times did you have a class where they wheeled in?
You'd only stay on for like 5 minutes if you're not playing something on it.
How many classes did you have where they would wheel in the giant cart with the CRT on it with the Laserdisc player underneath?
That was the only time.
I never saw that.
Never? Oh man!
This is, as far as I know, the first time I will have ever really been in a room with
that's interesting you brought that up, because that's the only time I ever saw Laserdisc. China Mission School District here in Johnson County, Kansas. really invested in Laserdisc for some reason. And the only thing I ever saw in them was like educational stuff, so I didn't really even realize it was a format that you could.
Like I said, that's great for educators. Beyond that, unless you're just a cinephile and you've got to go look real close at frames to find details and stuff. Your average person wouldn't need that feature.
They actually had. I remember some of the discs they would show were like these weird like choose your own adventure type things where like and the teacher would key in a frame and it would go to that like as we were. Like, you wouldn't play it back just normally and stuff. You would go to this point in the disc as part of the doing what you're, the game or whatever.
So it'd be like, So it'd be like if you go to the grocery store, go to frame 47.
Yeah.
And if you go back to your house, go to frame 55.
It was weird.
So you could play games and such like at that point based on how you answer a thing.
Yeah.
It could jump to you got that right, or you got that incorrect. Move on to the second level.
By the way, don't go to the grocery store, because if you do that, you get hit by a bus and you die. That's
is that how it ends?
That's how it ends. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I'm writing a riveting choose your own.
So show us the uninspired remote for this thing. Considering we saw the Bat remote earlier.
This is the remote for a Laserdisc player.
Which compared to a VCR remote looks like it should run an airplane.
Yeah, it's really big. I don't know why they made them so big and chunky like this. Even compared to the VCRs of the era, they were big.
They kind of look like Atari made them or something.
Yeah, I don't know why they were so big.
At least it's not wired to the device.
Yeah, that's true. Like the early VCRs had.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a thing that popped off. I've got it somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a shuttle job, so you can go back.
I was going to ask what that was for.
Yeah, it was like if you have it, you can either if you have it on freeze frame, you can manually kind of go forward and backward like that, or you can fast forward that way and then let go rather than push fast forward. I guess if you wanted to.
There's 5 ways to do everything, I guess.
And it looks like a lot of the controls are also on the front of it. Like, could you theoretically run everything without the remote?
I think so, probably.
With this older stuff, you definitely generally could. So I would imagine this one's the same. Did you say this was a Pioneer?
Yeah, and it has a lot of the Pioneer ones. It had karaoke.
Yes.
Because that was a big thing in Japan. Was karaoke.
I have some karaoke discs.
And I've never seen one. But,
I used to have a karaoke Laserdisc player, but it was broken. I couldn't fix it. I got rid of it.
Apparently this one can do it, but I've never actually tried.
I have karaoke discs.
That's what we're saying.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That'll be another video. We can sing karaoke to these Japanese off-brand.
13-inch Batman CRT.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So
I don't know what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah.
But I hope you folks are enjoying it. Okay, so are you gonna go ahead and pop this open?
Yeah, let's pop it open. All
right, let's check out the tray.
Let's try out this one, and there it is. Here's the tray. Of course, that's on that dust.
It has the size of those 4-disc CD changers.
Yeah. And it actually has a CD thing. This thing will...
Yeah, it'll hold a CD, won't it?
It doesn't really work very well, I don't think, on this thing, but this CD will pop out as its own little caddy.
Oh, yeah!
But,
I forgot they made them. They did that.
I think... I don't remember how well it works on this one. Are we on the right input? Is it online?
No, I'll have to move it.
Okay.
No automatic video switching for these devices.
This should be on video 1.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There you go.
Oh my goodness!
To be the same color as the blue screen before.
Because my other one is black, so that's why it confused me. The one I have at home. Yeah.
Side A.
Yeah.
Oh, we put it in correctly, guys.
There we go. Look at that.
There you go.
Wonderful.
And prepare to get copyright flag.
Look how it's counting up the frames on the front there and stuff. See that?
Oh, yeah.
So that shows you how it kind of... You can do that. Why is... This is
no, we actually probably shouldn't show too much of whatever the movie is that we put in.
Sure.
Because we might get copyright flag.
Well,
what are we watching here?
This is Singing in the Rain.
Oh, there we go. My wife's favorite musical.
Get some of the graphics here.
Yeah.
And I've only seen this movie remastered, so I've never seen it with all the like pops and stuff.
And then That's the thing with the transfers for
in the film
are not as great. But yeah, see, you can if you push this, you can advance frame by frame.
No, but it's kind of nice to go back and see the old transfers in the nicest possible quality.
Here, advance the frames again.
At that time.
Here, it's going. There's a frame by frame advancement. And now
Come
it's
on,
going
volume,
backwards.
work with me.
Awesome.
And if you play this, you can fast forward. Here, I'm just doing it with the shuttle jog. See.
Oh, cool. So it still works even without that plastic
even without
piece.
that thingy. Yeah, you can go really fast, or you can go a little fast. And you can skip chapters like a DVD. That's a capability that it had. And how do you do the thing where you put a frame in? I'm trying to remember that. Here it is, chapter frame. So if I put in like, I don't know, that, let's see what happens. It might not work.
Too many frames.
Oh, is that Aunt Harriet
there it
from
goes.
Batman? I think it is, right?
There it goes. Look, it skipped ahead.
It went to that frame.
And there, if you hit play,
Wow.
I don't know why I cut out. Oh, it ended the disc. That was the end of the disc.
That was the end of the disc.
So I put in a frame
too high number,
that was too
and-
high, and it went to the very end of the disc.
But you said it was counting frames on the front. You
It
could have
was.
looked at
I
the.
guess I could have looked at that. It didn't work. But yeah, so that was about 30 minutes into the film, and then you have to
Wow.
flip it over.
Now, real quick, let me say, I was looking at a VHS tape earlier today on this, and you can immediately tell the difference in quality.
Yeah,
Right.
between the two. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, like we're used to seeing HD and 4K, obviously, and much larger screens and a different aspect ratio. But if you go back and compare it to the standard at the time, it is way nicer, and it was worth the bump up in cost. If
Yeah.
You could afford it. It
if
was
there-
very
there were
expensive.
there were
but,
two
yeah.
ways to improve the quality of your picture: either get a larger screen or get a better format.
Yeah.
So I was immediately putting myself back in the day and going, no, I would have been able to tell the difference. Like,
Yeah.
it would have been huge.
And that's interesting, but it looked really.
I remember
good
when
on
the airwaves-
I've only seen it on upscale HD TV, and both look like crap. You know, so
Well, intended for CRT. So
yeah, it's
that's why I
intended
did
for
this. I
CRT.
wanted to
Yeah, we
see it on a
wanted to see what it
CRT.
would look like.
I remember when they first started broadcasting in HD across the airwaves, and I got to see a TV that could actually display it properly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nothing compared to today, but it was, oh my goodness, it was orders of magnitude better than this setup.
Brandon, let's put Independence Day on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, let's see how that
I don't know
looks.
if this is the first side. I think it is.
Does it say side A?
Well, I can't
side
tell.
one. Yeah, side
Oh,
one.
side one. So that's no.
And
So
this-
you want
this
that
is a
up.
Standard.
But
play.
there were multiple discs, and I don't know if this one had special features, because that's another thing I wanted to mention, is that when you go to the earliest DVDs, a lot of DVD commentaries were actually LaserDisc commentaries
The Roger
initially.
Rabbit disc has Zemeckis commentary on it. I don't know.
Spawn.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
Zemeckis movie, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Brandon, it is.
Oh, yeah. For some reason,
The three of us have done a
can't-
commentary on that movie.
if you press eject,
Do you
it
remember
won't
that?
Yeah, I
come
do.
back in. So you have to push. I think it's just the way that they designed this. I don't know why. You have to push it on the
open,
player
close.
itself to close it. Yeah, it'll open it. It won't close it. I don't
Okay,
know.
I was going to ask you about that because I actually opened it earlier before I had a disc to put in it, just to make sure it was working, and I couldn't figure out how to close it.
Yeah, you have to
besides just
push it
pushing
on the
And you can
eject
push it in the
button.
front too.
Yeah,
You probably shouldn't do that too much.
I think
but,
it might mess up the.
but you can.
So this is the CLV, which is the extended play, which stands for constant linear velocity. So it plays like a CD where each track
I'm
goes
glad I picked-
around
I'm glad I
at the
picked a different
same.
format.
Each track will go around at the same rate. But so that means that it will slow. It'll play it slower in the center than it will as when it gets outside. But you can't do as many of the trick features with this unless you have a higher end player that has like a digital frame buffer and things like that. Will do the free. So like if you pause this, it will go to a blue screen. It won't show the
Wow.
image,
Interesting.
unfortunately. Or if you fast forward, the fast forward works, but I don't know
It
if the
jumps?
freeze frame. Yeah,
I was gonna ask you if you
See,
saw
and
the
see how it says
freeze frame.
CLV when you try to do
Uh-huh.
the freeze frame and stuff.
Oh, so it just
yeah.
won't.
Oh,
It
wow.
won't do it. Yeah.
But hey, that's cool that it plays those still.
And it's
Yeah.
and it's got your black bars.
And
Oh,
most,
THX.
most
Nice.
most movies that you would get would be in this format because you could get an hour of video on a disc.
Now you guys tell me if I'm overselling this. This looks damn good, right?
Yeah.
For the
looks
time, it
pretty
looks
good.
excellent.
Yeah,
It looks
excellent.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm actually impressed because I know how grainy a VHS would be right now.
Yeah.
Especially after being this old too, the quality is just going to be even
It's neat
worse.
seeing this, and I gotta be honest with you, I think this is about early DVD quality.
It is. Now
Like, I don't think it's any better or worse than that.
I don't think so. Now we're playing late period Laserdisc, relatively. The earlier discs were not. Most of them were not widescreen.
Well, my Glengarry Glen Ross would be from the
I just
80s.
looked at that wasn't widescreen.
Well, that's because that movie wasn't widescreen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's
Do we have an older
early
one?
ratio. I think
Is
this
Roger
one.
Rabbit that way?
No, I
Or-
think this one. No, this Demon Seed. This looks like an old one. I don't know. Does it say widescreen on it?
This looks older.
This looks like.
No, it's not. But
that's
Glengarry
gotta
Glen
be-
Ross is widescreen.
So this has got to be a full frame one, probably.
Is there any reason to put in an older one, or are we going to learn anything by doing that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But,
We could determine if it's that much of a drop off for pickup in
right.
quality.
We can talk about
Yeah.
the mini.
But we
re-
also could open with a scene with a bunch of nudity, too, because
Yeah, we don't know
what's
what's on
movie,
this,
so I kinda
Brandon.
don't wanna-
Well, what's its rating?
It doesn't have it on the back.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
But we can talk about why Laserdisc failed. There's many reasons. One of them, it was really expensive.
Uh-huh.
And when it first came out, and you couldn't get when this first came out in the 70s, people were buying these a lot. I mean, you were renting movies because
Right.
movies were not priced for retail.
Well, and even a
When
VHS,
even
movies weren't silly
VHS,
expensive.
the first movie to be priced for retail on VHS was actually Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, it
We did for
stopped.
$24.99. I think. Did you stop it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
I have the power. Well, I actually tried to eject it, but it didn't.
Oh,
eject.
it might get.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I guess I had to hit it twice. So I hit. Oh, it stopped.
It stopped
eject.
eject. Yeah.
That's
but it
why.
won't kick it
Oh.
back in. Yeah,
Which
I
is
don't-
weird because VHS didn't have that.
No, it would be
They were
no, I had
a
it.
separate button.
I had one that used to have that too.
That was stop
It was an
eject.
older one. Yeah.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so in the movie you didn't have as many movies available on the format that you did on VHS, so that was one of the reasons. Also, when people were watching this at the time on 1970s or 80s TV sets with the wood cabinet and all that stuff, it probably didn't look that much better on those TVs to a VHS or a Beta, especially those early discs and stuff.
Well, and can we talk
Yeah.
about how impractical just having this in your living room would
I know,
be?
it's
Look how
huge.
massive it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have it hooked up all the time.
Right. It's
Oh,
massive.
mine's sitting with the rest of my VCR, my DVD player, my Blu-ray player.
Well, you
And
do what
it's
you want to do. I'm just saying, I'm
no,
not going to do that.
it takes up a large chunk of real estate,
that's
and
why I don't
I'm
have
considering not putting it out.
Mine's
Yeah.
in my closet. But and another thing that they couldn't do, obviously, that people wanted in 1978 or whatever,
Yeah.
it can't record.
Yep.
And that's what the VHS and Beta could. So you would have had to,
That would be
at
one
the
of the
time,
reasons they were so much more
you would have to
popular.
buy both if you wanted to do that. But by the time DVD came out, everybody already had VHS.
Yeah.
It was VCRs were ubiquitous, so it was just a little add-on thing.
Well, when did DVR come in?
That would probably be like the late night.
That was the late 90s. TiVo was the first one that I knew that did that.
I guess my point is, if we had that right at the same time that DVD came out, then you just had a natural transition where
too.
you could record even if you didn't want to use tapes
Right,
anymore.
right, exactly.
You know,
And I think
Netflix.
DVDs were cheaper than Laserdisc too. That's the cost to manufacture them was so much less.
Sure, and even when they came out, they would have been probably
They were
comparable
$10 more than
expensive
VHS, I
'cause-
think,
Well, I
yeah.
was going to say the Laserdisc because, like,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the tail end when they're, if anybody was still buying Laserdisc, they're probably still on average $30, I would figure, and that's what DVDs started
Yeah.
at. It was between 25 and 30.
Right, exactly.
I remember when Netflix was still just a DVD delivery service, and I think that they helped popularize DVDs in such a way that probably completely sealed the fate of these discs.
Yeah, that might have been.
They
Yeah.
didn't get real popular though until well after
I
this
think,
format
yeah.
was about done.
But
Because I didn't even hear about Netflix myself until like a year or two before they started streaming. because I was using the disc, but like a lot of people didn't even know about it yet. Like,
yeah, they weren't super popular.
It gets to real like super popular status by like 06, 07.
Yeah, which
is well after this.
We used them one time when they had like a thing when we got our first DVD player, which would have been like about 2000, which was probably the year after they discontinued LaserDisc new releases. But we used them one time, but we did because they did this, free month of movies or whatever, and but we didn't do it after that because we just wanted, let's just go to Blockbuster and get them, or we have to wait stuff in the mail. But
I liked it because I used them for a good year or two before streaming became more popular,
right?
Because you could do TV shows. And a lot of rental places didn't have very much, if any, selection for television.
Right.
So that's why I did that. But what else do you want to talk about with this before we bid everybody farewell?
I really can't think of anything else. I mean, that's pretty much what they could do. I mean, did your Independence Day have any special features we wanted to?
I'm not sure, actually.
It looked like it had 2 discs, and I don't know if the whole movie is on one of the other special features or what, but...
Yes, it definitely had 2 discs.
The fact that, how long is it? Runtime. 145. It's got to be the rest of the movie.
Yep, looks like it.
It's like my Jurassic
Only the rest of the movie?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because they're not advertising any major features.
It's like my Jurassic Park disc. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes, so they had to have a whole separate disc for the last 7 minutes of it.
Here, can we see the cover art on your Jurassic Park disc?
Yeah.
Very
You
nice.
can show the inside. Look at that.
Very
like I said,
cool.
a lot of the reason I want to start collecting some of these, especially for superhero stuff, is in some Star Trek maybe.
They look so cool.
Is for the same reason that I like having vinyl. Like,
Right.
When you have a format this big, there's so much cool stuff you can do with art and inserts and things.
Exactly.
Well, Brady, thanks a lot for watching. What's up, Brady?
I was just going to say, I'm interested to hook mine up to a modern TV and see what it looks like then. I haven't done that yet. Last time I hooked it up, it was with the CRT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it looks better on a CRT, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, folks, thanks for watching. Thank you guys for coming. And Adam, I really appreciate the gift.
No problem.
And I wanted one of these forever. And it's exciting to know, even after it's been in my house a while, that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll see you later, folks. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And leave comments and let me know if you own LaserDisc and if you were a fan of the format. And does anybody that's watching right now have a LaserDisc player connected to a television taking up space in your living room right now? I want to know that. See you later, folks. Thanks for being here.